here at AUVSI 2014 with Amos Deacon from Phoenix International Systems. I'd like to ask a few questions if I could.
Sure.
Your company's here at AUVSI. Tell me what brings you here. What do you get out of the show?
Well, Phoenix International focuses on data storage aspects of computing. Within that, we focus on rugged, deployable applications.
Mm-hmm.
We've been supplying products since the 90s to unmanned platforms. The largest customer at the time, of course, was General Atomics and the Predator.
Yeah.
So we've been involved a long time.
Mm-hmm.
The explosion of requirements for UAVs recently has really driven us to exhibit at the show this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this shows like this started very small, but they've become really big technology shows. Most of it's still military, as I can see around me. About the military budget, of course, there's been a lot of uncertainty, as we talked about all the time this past couple of years. Maybe a little bit more certainty with budgets, deals in place. But also, like the cutbacks are such that a lot of our customers, the primes, they're cutting back. On one hand, they're also laying off a lot of their engineers, and therefore they seem to be relying on the technical expertise from companies like yours, our industry. Can you tell me how that's sort of affecting how you operate?
Sure. We've seen a trend, as you say, where the budgets are threatened. That has caused programs to be delayed or canceled altogether. The resources of our clients are stretched. And an example of us picking up some of that slack, we will talk with a client about a particular application that they have,
right?
Find out the parameters of that application, and then actually set up simulations at our facility that allow us to determine the best configuration for their specific application.
Okay. Whereas in the past, they would be very specific about their configuration, perhaps, but now you're actually working with them to figure out what that's going to be.
Right. An example of that in our storage world, there's such a broad range of storage devices and types. With the budget constraints, they may not need the super expensive option.
Of course, right, yeah.
If we can prove to them that a lesser expense is good enough to get the job done.
Yeah, I think, it's certainly a kind of a new trend happening in the defense industry is that costs are a big deal. In the past, you could really get away with cost was almost no limit.
Sure.
But now there's a lot of scrutiny with that going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Big buzzword in the industry, of course, SWAP, size, weight, and power. Everyone's about reducing size, weight, and power. It's true in the computing and everything, and also in storage. So can you tell me from your point of view, are there ways that's making things easier? Are there ways of making it harder? What are some of the challenges out there for SWAP?
Well, the largest challenge with regard to storage products is, there's weight.
Right.
Size, we've shrunk stuff down quite a bit.
Yeah.
But the trend towards going to solid state disks has really opened up applications with regard to the power requirements.
Yeah.
We are now using solid state disks that will draw 2 to 3 watts of power, as opposed to 5 years ago you had to use a spinning hard drive that was drawing 10 or 12.
Oh, sure, right, yeah.
So I see that has opened up for us a lot more opportunities for the storage products.
Yeah, and I guess in a way, storage is always that you're always going to get more storage density. You're getting sort of in the same space. You're getting a terabyte when years ago it was like a gigabyte.
Sure.
And that's only going to keep on going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, can you maybe talk about some new things happening at your organization, your products or technologies?
Of course.
Of course. Go ahead.
And our latest product ties well to the swap issue.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
We have a VPX board level product that is incorporates the Vita 48 specs, the full ready clamshell covers.
Yep.
We were talking about the expense of solid state disks and what you may be able to get away with and what not. With SSDs, Single level cell technology is typically much more expensive than multi-level cell.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But it's also much more expensive,
Yes. Right.
much more reliable.
Yeah. Of course. Right.
This product, we were able to use a single level cell solid state disk, SLC, solid state disk, and package it in a 3U form factor VPX board, the conduction cooled, ready covered board that I said earlier, and we were able to get a terabyte
Okay. Wow.
of capacity in that product. So we hit everything of SWAT.
Yeah. Of course. Right.
You know,
Size, weight, and power. Yeah.
The capacity
Yeah,
is
yeah.
smaller.
Yeah.
The size, of course, a 3U single slot board is pretty darn
Right.
small.
Yeah.
And it sips power. So.
Yeah. Well, it's just, VPX had some growing pains as it sort of happened, but at this point, it really seems it's being deployed, it's being used, being asked for, and the primes are involved. So VPX is really catching on, and it's real, I think, in the storage world as well.
Yeah, I think much more. You're right. It's taken a long time, but unlike many new technologies, it seems to be becoming more accepted and designed in.
Of course, right? Yeah. That's good. Well, thanks for your time, Amos. Appreciate it.
Great, Jeff.